Hello again, everyone. This is Joe, and in this technical analysis of the stock market video, we're going to talk about the big bounce that occurred this week, and where do we go from here? So let's dive in, take a look at the Dow. We're also going to take a look at the 5 FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, and see how they were affected by the big bounce. And pardon my voice, I'm struggling with my voice a little bit after surgery I had on Monday. Had total hip replacement surgery of my left hip, and that went very well. And but I'm still dealing with some of the meds and all that good stuff. So again, apologize for the voice. Let's take a look here at the Dow. You can see the way I've got this labeled here is this first wave down I've got labeled as Minute Wave 1. And this was a 12.2% drop from that high on the close of January 26. Now we've retraced just a little bit over 61.8% of that move. And this is very similar to what's happened on the S&P 500. I'll show the Russell 2000 in a minute. Now the Nasdaq's gotten a little bit deeper, but for the most part, most of the indices are right like this. Some of them haven't even gotten this deep. So pretty big bounce back. This all happened. This was Friday. It started on Friday the 9th, carried through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and looked like it might have petered out just a little bit on Friday. My betting is that, and you can tell by my labeling, is that we are going to test and take out this low before we ever touch this high. And I don't think we're going to be touching this high for a long, long time. All right, let's take a look at the Russell 2000, a very similar type picture. You know, the Dow was down 12.2%. The Russell 2000 was down 11.1%. Notice how this low on Friday the 9th took out the trading all the way back into September. That's a lot worse than what the Dow even had done. Okay, now we retraced about 61.8%. Now the move on Friday wasn't quite the little doji move that we got on the Dow Industrials. So we're just kind of watching in here now to see what happens. Is this the move, or do we still have something more to go on? Or has it kind of played out with a little bit of a move like this, and now we're coming back down and getting ready to retest this low? So that's what we're watching for. I think this week is going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. Actually, probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Let's take a look at the one of my indicators, the high-low on the New York Stock Exchange. This gives you a picture of every day of what the net of the 52-week new highs versus new lows for the day was. So on Friday, we had 49 more stocks hitting 52-week highs than 52-week lows for the day. But you could see back in the sell-off, back in here on February 6th, we had a peak minus 473. Now you say, well, wow, that's pretty low. Yeah, it was pretty low as compared to the last 2 years, but can it get a lot worse? Yes. And you can see how a lot of times, where is this? Right in here. Sometimes it'll step into that mode and then bounce, and then it'll just get even worse. And so this is that August 2015. Here's January, February 2016. And, we've had a lot of bounce back in 2011. Everybody's talking about, the type of sell-off that we got here. How does that compare? Well, the depth and breadth of the damage isn't even close to the damage that occurred in those sell-offs, much less if you go back into, 2008. So right now, watching to see, we got the bounce. We got back just a little bit positive here on the HighLow Index, and we'll see where we go from there. Now, let's take a look at how the bounce affected the 5 FANG stocks. And I call them 5 because I use Apple and Amazon. Let's take a look at Facebook. Now, Facebook did not nearly bounce to the degree that we got with the Dow and the Russell 2000 or the SPX. Hasn't even bounced 50% on a retrace from the high to the low. And I think part of that reason is because we really got some pretty severe damage in here in terms of breaking down out of this upward trending channel. Okay, so kind of watching this on Facebook, down $2.60 on Friday. Apple had a pretty deep retracement, well beyond the 61.8%. and it's more like what the NASDAQ put in, but this also looks to me like it's just pulling back to this long-term trend line that it shattered back in here in the big sell-off, okay? And so now with this kind of move, this little doji candle and down 56 cents on Friday, it's going to be real interesting to say, okay, is that all she wrote for the pullback on Apple? So this bears watching in here. Now, Amazon's acting a lot stronger, okay? When I look at this and you sit back and based on what we just looked at now and some of the indices, this doesn't look nearly as damaged as the other stocks. And the peak of January 26 was, where was that? Right in here. Okay, so you can see how Amazon continued pushing higher. Then we got the sell-off, the snapback. Now, it hasn't gone to new highs yet, so that's what's going to be real critical to me, I think. Does it come down and take out this Friday, the 9th low? It was down $13.07 on Friday. So pretty interesting. This short-term trend line, you could say it broke a trend line on with the move. Let me see if I can draw this trend line in here. It's kind of more of a shorter term trend line. It wasn't nearly to the degree that, like, say, Apple did. If I could grab it, there we go. And then let's darken it a little bit and make it red. Okay, so intraday it broke it, but then it bounced right back out of that, and so now we'll watch to see does it come back down and challenge that again. And then we take a look at Netflix. Netflix is acting very similar to the strength of like Amazon. This is in a very strong upward trending channel. It looks like it's thrown over to the top of the channel. And again, it kept pushing higher after the 26th for at least, well, let's see, the following Monday anyway, and a couple of days actually in here. And then we got the pullback. It did not go to a new high. So I think the same kind of challenge is can it hold this Friday the 9th low and continue pushing higher, or is it going to come down and break down, close below this low? That would be very negative, I think, and would be a sign it's starting to break down. And then the last one is Google. Google also was a little weaker in that it broke the longer-term trend line. I'd say it's more like the 2-year trend line in here, even though this low is from June of 2016. It broke that trend line, got support on, is that the 9th? Yes, on the 9th, came back, has not retraced, has just retraced a little over 50%, not quite 61.8%. So hasn't bounced back even as strong as the Dow Industrials or the S&P or the Russell 2000. So a little bit of a doji type candle on Friday, up $4.14. So now watching to see, is this going to act a little weaker like Facebook and start to turn down and come back down and retest this February 9th low. So watching for that. That's the picture. That's how we got the bounce. A lot of tech stocks got a pretty strong bounce this week. And we'll see how this next couple of weeks plays out in looking for at least a retest of the February 9th low. All right, that's it for this weekend. If you felt like the video was helpful, hit the like button and remember to share the video. And if you're not watching this on my website, head on over to the website and check out the other posts and things I've got for you over there. And we'll talk to you on the next video. Have a great weekend, everyone.